In the quiet suburban neighborhood of Jacksonville, Florida, a chilling secret lay hidden beneath the surface. As darkness fell on November 3rd, 1998, one family would be plunged into a nightmare they could never have imagined. As the frantic search for young Maddie Clifton intensified, the unsettling truth about Joshua, a seemingly innocent boy next door, would send shockwaves through the community. The darkness within him was about to be exposed, and a heart-wrenching reality would soon surface. Welcome to the Crimeful Corner. I'm Eli, and in today's video, we're going to dive into the compelling story of 8-year-old Maddie Clifton and the horrifying crime that took place on November 3rd, 1998. Maddie was a vibrant, energetic girl who loved playing with her friends and neighbors. On that fateful day, she had been playing outside, enjoying the crisp autumn air. As the sun began to set, Maddie's mother, who had just returned home from voting, realized that dinner time was upon them and instructed her older daughter, Jessie, to seek out her little sister and bring her home. Meanwhile, across the street, 14-year-old Joshua Phillips lived a life under the watchful eye of his strict and intimidating father. Joshua was friends with Maddie, and they shared a love for playing outdoors. However, Joshua's father had strict rules about having friends over, especially young girls, and permitted Joshua to interact with his friends solely under adult supervision. Unbeknownst to Maddie's family, she had been spending time with Joshua that day. As the shadows grew long, a series of events unfolded, setting the stage for a horrific discovery that would shock the neighborhood and the nation. While Jessie looked for her younger sister, she was completely unaware of the dreadful destiny that had already unfolded for Maddie. With each passing minute, the Clifton family grew increasingly worried. Neighbors joined in, forming search parties that scoured the area for any sign of the missing girl. They called out her name, hoping that Maddie would respond, but there was only silence. At the heart of this mystery was the Phillips household. Joshua, who had been playing with Maddie earlier in the day, seemed to know nothing about her whereabouts. He and his family even joined in the search, doing their part to help find the missing girl. On the surface, it appeared as though Joshua shared the same concern and anguish as the rest of the community. But as the hours turned into days, a sickening secret festered inside the Phillips home.
Hey, Gene?
Jacksonville 911.
Yes, sir. Hi. This is, I went out to play this afternoon. I thought she was with her, and now she's missing.
How old is she?
She's 8 years old.
Where was she playing at around the house?
Right around the house here.
Is she a white female or a black
Yes,
female?
she's a white female.
What did she have on when she left?
She had on a red T-shirt. And, Mama, did she have on jeans? No, I've been upstairs, Mama. I have searched.
Ma'am?
Yes.
Blue jeans?
Mama, did she have on blue jeans? What'd she have on? What kind of shorts?
Pair of shorts?
She had on a pair of shorts and a red T-shirt.
She blonde hair? Black hair?
No, she's got reddish-brown hair. It's actually a brown with an auburn tint to it.
What's her name?
It's short. Her name is Maddie. She goes, it's Madeline.
What's her last name?
Clifton, C-L-I-F as in Frank, T-O-N.
When's the last time anybody saw her?
Mama, what time did I come home from voting? About 5:30?
About
4:30 to 5 o'clock. About 5:30 was the last time we saw her. And I was letting the kids play out here for a little while, and then she disappeared, and nobody knows where she's at.
She have any friends nearby? Did you go check?
I've got every neighbor out here right now.
Okay, the police will be there shortly, ma'am. You keep looking, okay?
Okay, do you know where I am? I mean, I'm at the corner of Fleetwood and Stephen is right there.
What is it?
My husband just came home. And, hold on just a moment. Honey, Maddie is gone. No. Okay, my husband just pulled up, but she's not with him, of course.
Okay, the police are going to be there shortly, ma'am, okay?
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
For 6 days, Joshua slept on his bed, beneath which lay the lifeless body of Maddie Clifton. The grisly discovery would be made by none other than Joshua's own mother, who noticed a strange wet spot on the floor and a terrible odor emanating from her son's room. When she went to investigate further, she made the horrifying discovery. Maddie's feet were sticking out from the enclosed case attached to Joshua's waterbed. In shock and disbelief, she immediately contacted the police. Investigators swarmed the Phillips residence, uncovering chilling details that provided a harrowing glimpse into the events that transpired. Concealed behind the dresser was the baseball bat used to attack Maddie, while the knife responsible for her stab wounds was hidden within the room. Joshua's nightstand held air freshener spray, a freshly burned incense, and Maddie's missing photo, a clear attempt to mask the odor of her decomposing body. The grim findings continued as the autopsy revealed Maddie had been hit 3 times in the head with the baseball bat. Her throat had been slashed, and she had been stabbed 7 times in the chest. Heartbreakingly, as Maddie's body was removed from beneath the bed, her hand was found clutched onto the bed frame, indicating she was still alive when forced into that small dark space. With the mounting evidence, Joshua was arrested, and investigators focused on understanding the motive behind such a gruesome act. As the neighborhood grappled with the horror, numerous theories circulated in an attempt to comprehend the incomprehensible. The horrific truth continued to unfold after Joshua's confession. He recounted how Maddie's eye was accidentally struck by a baseball, causing her to bleed and cry out in pain. Desperate to console her, he brought her into his house, but when her screams grew louder, panic set in. He feared his father's wrath if he found the injured girl in his home without permission. In a tragic moment of panic, Joshua made the unthinkable decision to silence Maddie by hitting her over the head with a baseball bat. When his father returned home, Maddie was still moaning. Terrified, Joshua dragged her out of the bed, stabbed her in the chest, and hid her lifeless body beneath his waterbed. Joshua's mother eventually disclosed that both she and her son were constantly afraid of his father, who was characterized as domineering, menacing, and occasionally oppressive. He enforced particularly stringent rules about permitting neighborhood children into their home without an adult present, and was especially averse to Joshua playing with younger girls. Investigators discovered that Joshua had attempted to duct tape the enclosed case with Maddie inside, further concealing the gruesome secret beneath his bed, all the while taking part in the search for Maddie, skillfully pretending to share the community's worry and distress. As the complex layers of the investigation unfolded, it was difficult not to wonder about the potential motives that led Joshua to commit such a heinous act. The prosecution, skeptical of Joshua's narrative, emphasized the striking lack of forensic evidence to back up his story about the baseball hitting Maddie's face, as well as a noticeable lack of dirt on her pants to validate his claim that he dragged her into the house. Upon Joshua's confession, he faced a formidable charge of first-degree murder and stood trial. The prosecution presented an unyielding case against him, and in August of 1999, Joshua, a mere 14 years old, was found guilty. While his tender age spared him the death penalty, he received a life sentence without the possibility of parole, a harsh sentence that left many astonished, considering his youth and clean criminal record. Yet, one must consider the sheer brutality of the crime and the profound impact it had on Maddie's family and the community, which ultimately led the judge to impose this severe punishment. In 2012, the Supreme Court determined that mandatory life sentences without parole were unconstitutional for juvenile offenders convicted of murder. As a result, Joshua's case underwent resentencing in 2017, leading to the start of a fresh trial. This new trial unearthed even more chilling details. Among Joshua's possessions, investigators found books on occult topics in his room. A particularly disturbing discovery was that Joshua had been watching adult content containing violence and possibly underage girls a mere half hour before Maddie's demise. Along with other previously unrevealed evidence, these findings raised suspicions of inappropriate motives behind the crime. Additionally, the fact that Maddie was found wearing only her shorts and socks hinted at potential inappropriate elements to the case. The absence of blood anywhere else in the house, aside from Joshua's room, further cast doubt on his version of events. During the trial, Maddie's mother stated that Joshua's intended target was not Maddie, but her older sister, Jessie, who was 11 years old when Maddie died. The discovery of a stolen photo of Jessie in Joshua's room lent additional weight to the hypothesis that he had been obsessed with Maddie's sister. Even after the 4-day trial, Joshua's sentence remained in place, and he is still serving time in prison. He is slated to become eligible for resentencing in 2023. This story is a somber reminder of the preciousness and vulnerability of life. As we remember the bright, innocent child whose life was cut short so senselessly, we must also grapple with the reality that sometimes evil can lurk uncomfortably close to home. So be safe. Thank you for tuning into the Crimeful Corner. That was a case of Maddie Clifton. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to help support and grow the channel so we can keep dishing out this good content for you, and I'll catch you in the next one.